A place in architectural America. But tonight, it's the home of the 1982 Toyota Series Tennis Championships as the top players in the world battle it out. Next on USA. Semi-final round coverage is brought to you by Toyota, who reminds you it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety. The long, arduous journey that is the Toyota Series began back in April, and here this week it reaches its climax with 12 great women's tennis players who came here all in hopes of winning, but tonight only 4 remain for the semifinals. Good evening, everybody. I'm Al Troutwig, along with a very casually dapper-looking Mary Carrillo. Mary.
That's fine. Well, Chris has been playing since April. She's been playing pretty well. She had a couple of disappointments in Paris. She lost. She also lost in the finals of Wimbledon to Martina. But this fall, she certainly put together a very snappy-looking record. She won the U.S. Open, and she won the Australian Open, a title that has eluded her for many, many years. So she was very happy with that. She's very pleased with her play, confident going in, and hoping that a win here at the Toyota Championships could perhaps give her the #1 ranking back again.
All right, now we are going to have some rallies in our opening match that would make the stock exchange jealous. That's for sure, because when Tracy Austin and Chris get together, there will be plenty of those. How about Tracy?
As I said, she does have a lifetime record over Chris Evert Lloyd, 9 wins and 7 losses. She feels comfortable, confident. After her quarterfinal match last night, she said she felt very strong going in, and she says the fact that she has that winning edge over Chris should help her out.
How about Tracy's injury status?
She claims she's healthy, and certainly from the way she played it in her other matches this week, I believe her.
Well, Tracy Austin and Chris Evert Lloyd in the first USA Network tonight in the Toyota Series Championships. Now, Tracy Austin comes into this match with a decidedly strong edge over Chris, if nothing else mentally. But first, let's take a look at Chris Evert Lloyd's vital statistics. Chris, of course, from Amelia Island, Florida, just turned 28 on Tuesday. She's 5'6", 114 pounds. Or rather, she will be 28 this Tuesday.
Al, I think Chris looks very good. I was impressed with her play as we'd have a look at Tracy Austin, who is 5'4", 110 pounds. She just turned 20 years old. She's from Rolling Hills in California. Both these players are very excited about meeting each other again. They have not played all year long. As a matter of fact, the last time these two did meet, Tracy lost a very tough match to Chris, but I think it really left Chris spent, and they had to play just the next day, and Chris won.
Mary, the two players here, Evert Lloyd and Austin, haven't seen each other in 1982. As a matter of fact, the last time they met was right here in New Jersey. Are there any differences that they'll be surprising each other with over that year that they haven't played?
Well, as Tracy said last night, Al, these two have always, I think they enjoy this. This is a very strong rivalry, and, you know, there's always so many comparisons made between these two, not only in terms of the way they play and their technique, but also their family situations, both from large, close families and things like that. And I think this could be another classic confrontation between two people so firmly ensconced on the baseline that they believe in their baseline strengths.
Now, the publicity and the major buildup for this tournament stems from a Martina Navratilova Chris Evert Lloyd final, and few people looked ahead excitedly at an Austin Evert Lloyd semifinal. Is Chris the type of person, though, who would look past a semifinal?
I don't think so. I think Chris has been very respectful of this player right here, Tracy Austin, for many, many years. Ever since the first time they played at Wimbledon, when Tracy was just 14 years old, Chris knew that Tracy had very much patterned her game, and Tracy's coach, Robert Lansdorf, has always patterned Tracy's game right after Chris's. So I think it's a real mirror image Chris looks at every time she sees Tracy across the net, and Perhaps Chris is thinking of winning the Toyota Championships, Tracy being the defending champ here, but this match right here is certainly not one that Chris can take lightly.
How about the surface, a Sporties carpet?
It's a Sporties carpet. It's the same surface that the women play on all year round. There have been quite a few comments that the ball is bouncing very low here this week. No one seems to be able to figure out why. Chris is currently in second place in Toyota point standings, 1,860 points. Martina has certainly won the right to win all those first place Toyota points. She's well ahead of any of the others. And Andrea Yeager is in third. Tracy Austin is currently ranked number 4 in the world.
All the players competing over the past 9 months, starting back in April, the Toyota Series, and trying to accumulate as many points as they could. The top 50 players getting a cash bonus, and the top 12 coming here. The top 4 seeds getting a first-round bye. And we're ready to go in this first semifinal on USA. Tracy Austin to serve to Chris Evert Lloyd.
By the way, Al, Chris says that she always receives serve. Win or lose the toss, she prefers to receive. She feels her return is one of the best points of her game, and she does not consider herself a naturally fast starter.
Also serving, the president of play.
Tracy Austin wearing her own line of clothing made in Japan. A nervous looking service for Tracy. She too, I think, would prefer to receive. Another wide ground stroke gives Chris 3 break points in this opening game.
Service break for Chris Evert Lloyd, and while Tracy Austin served well yesterday, not today. For our local cable affiliates, we'll pause on the USA Cable Network. This is Rutherford, New Jersey. 1 game complete, and a strong one for Chris Evert Lloyd, or rather a weak one for Tracy Austin.
Yeah, Chris didn't do too much to really bowl Tracy over with now. She just kept the ball in play, and Tracy made a couple of bad moves.
Chris Evert Lloyd to serve. She defeated Pam Shriver, serving at 63%. Last year, there were 8 players in this tournament on a double elimination. This year, 12 with a single elimination, with the top 4 going into the second round.
Pam Shriver lost to Chris Evert Lloyd last night. She said she usually concentrates so well against Chris because she knows she's just got to, but that she lost a lot of opportunities on her volleys, and on her serve she felt that betrayed her as well. Chris looked devastating last night. Beautiful little feather touch by Chris Evert Lloyd. I think Chris just keeps building upon her game, coming up with more and more shots. Great little piece of savvy here she used in this. Pulled Tracy very wide. Tracy was getting back into position. Wasn't there for the drop. Back line. Shots called long. Looks to me like even in the second game, Tracy's still pressing a bit too much. How's that for touch?
How's that for luck? Chris Evert Lloyd leading 2-love now in the opening set.
Here it is again. Twice in the same game, Chris employed the same beautiful forehand drop shot. They both worked for her. Tracy Austin has just switched rackets. Perhaps she wasn't happy with the tension on the one she had been using.
Mary, it seems as though that inside-out forehand by Chris is a real difficult shot to figure as far as where it's going to go.
That's so true, Al. Both these players have such immaculate preparation that you have to watch till they can wait till the very last moment to choose their spot.
Love 2, second serve.
Love 15.
That's a great shot. There's that inside adder you were talking about, Al. It worked beautifully. Kept Tracy without even any kind of move to make. Here it is again. Beautiful play. Back line.
Love 40. Triple break point for Chris Evert Lloyd. And a very sluggish start for Tracy Austin. It at the net. 2 service breaks, and she's up 3-love in the opening set here. Chris Evert Lloyd now surprising Tracy Austin with 2 service breaks. You're watching the Toyota Tennis Championships from the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Our semifinal only 3 games old, Mary Carrillo, but already Tracy has lots to think about.
It's true, Al. I don't think I've ever put any look of worry on Tracy's face before when I played her, but right now she's looking a little bit sheepish against Chris. 3-love first set.
Coming up low, and if I'm not mistaken, Tracy's having a lot of problems with that, unless it's just Chris's trajectory on her shots that's giving Tracy a hard time. Nerves as tough as catgut. Maybe tougher. 15:30.
Tracy went 3 sets with Mima Josovic in her opening round match, but she claims playing those 3 sets helped her. She wanted to get a lot of practice in. And last night, she said, she thought she played the big points real well. Something she says she hasn't done in a while. Nice little kick by Tracy. Game point for Chris. Going to see part of this again. It was a great point. Both players really hung in there, scrambling around for position. Chris trying to expose the court for a good shot, but Tracy running back and forth and sending that one wide. 4-love now, opening set.
Yes.
We'll see if Tracy can get her serve back in gear. Tracy, a winner of only one Toyota event this year in San Diego, California.
That a very hard-fought match against the even younger Kathy Rinaldi.
These can't possibly be nervous mistakes by Tracy, can they?
I think they could be, Al. I really do. They have not played in a long time. I think Chris was actually nervous going in against Tracy tonight as well. But Tracy's making the unforced errors. you know that Chris is confident if she's trying to figure out a way to come into the net, because she usually feels much more secure at the baseline. But right now, she's really having her way with Tracy Austin.
How's this for a profile and problems here? Chris Evert Lloyd serving at 90% early in this match, and Tracy Austin only at 38%. And Chris is just enjoying pouncing on those second serves.
Yeah, although neither player uses their serves as weapons, their return of serves are very important to both their games, and Chris is just returning a lot better.
15-30.
A real wild forehand. It's very rare that you see Tracy miss by that much. And once again, Chris has break points against Tracy.
Unforced errors for Tracy Austin. Chris Evert Lloyd has only had 4, and that spells a problem for Tracy in the opening set, where it is Chris Evert Lloyd 5 love over Tracy Austin. We spoke to Chris Evert Lloyd earlier in the week, and we asked her what she thought of her game in 1982, where she won the U.S. Open and the Australian.
I think I've had a very, very good year because I've won 2 Grand Slam events in 1 year, and that doesn't happen every year for me. Looking back, I would say the first 6 months, maybe I didn't play my best tennis. You know, I wasn't motivated as much. And then after I lost my Wimbledon final, I think that really got me a little bit, and I started working harder. And since then, in July, I've lost 1 match. So I think the last 6 months have been, you know, excellent for me.
What about this tournament?
And the battle, verbal as it may be, continues as to who will be tennis's #1 at the end of this year. Let's take a look at the head-to-heads between Chris Evert Lloyd and Tracy Austin, and you'll see a very interesting stat right here.
Yeah, Austin leading 9-7. Only current player that has that lifetime edge over Chris. First time they played, Tracy was just 14 years old. Chris won 6-1, 6-1. They then played a couple of times in 1978. Again, Chris winning. Austin won in 1979. That was for the first time. Chris won in La Costa. Austin won in the Italian Open. And she's the one that stopped Chris's great clay court streak. In Mawa, Evert Lloyd won again. At the U.S. Open in 1979, it was Austin, 16 years old, she won the title. And in 1979 in Stuttgart, it was Austin again in straight sets. 1980, Austin winning 3 times in 10 days. And really, that sent Chris reeling away. But then Chris won it again. Austin won in Toronto. Chris Evert Lloyd won here at the Toyota Championships 1 round, and then lost to Tracy in the finals in the double elimination. That was the last time they met. It's been a year.
7 of those matches indoors, and Tracy's also won 6 of those.
Yeah, that's an interesting statistic. Indoors, Tracy has dominated Chris.
Love 15. Chris serving for the set.
Looked like Chris surprised Tracy a bit with the shallowness of that shot. Tracy stabbing at it. And 2 points from the first set for Chris Evert Lloyd.
Chris is coming into the net, at least she has in this first set. On numerous occasions, she's had great success. Is that only because Tracy's playing so sluggish, or is this something that we're going to be seeing a lot more of from Chris?
I think Chris does want to keep the points brief, real short, and she's coming in on any kind of opportunity.
2 set points on her racket right now. Austin dropped set number 1 on another unforced error.
You know, I'm thinking maybe it's good for Tracy to get rid of that first set. I mean, Chris played very well, but I think it might cheer Tracy up a little bit that that set is behind her. Here's a set point again. Maybe she can shake off the effects of this first set, where she missed on so many ground strokes. I'll never forget how well Tracy played in 1981, fighting back. Martina killed her, blitzed her in the first set, lasting about 18 minutes at the U.S. Open. Tracy just climbed right back out of it, ended up winning.
She would probably love to call a timeout for about 10 or 15 minutes and then come back out.
Tracy claims that she just hasn't been as eager this year as she was for 18 years of her life, when tennis was really the only thing on her mind. But she feels that she felt after her quarterfinal match that she was getting into it. Position stab by Tracy is wide. So many people point up the similarities in the games between Tracy Austin and Chris Evert Lloyd, but I still think there are quite a few differences. I think it seems to me that Tracy's strokes are snappier, more punctuated, especially on her finishes, and I also think that they move very differently on the court. Chris, very smooth mover, the smoothest I've ever seen in this game. Tracy picks up her feet a little bit more frenetic. Right now, Chris just seems to be gliding over the court.
Triple break point again. Mary, you are the greatest smooth mover I've ever seen.
Thank you, Al. But that's from watching Chris Evert Lloyd play. 3 more break points for Chris.
Tracy looking a little sluggish in the start of the second set as well. Chris Evert Lloyd, the first set 6-love. Tracy Austin dropping another service break. 2 player in the world, Chris Evert Lloyd, breezing right now. I ask you, Mary, is she bored?
She's playing awfully well.
6-love in the first, another service break to start things off in the second. But we do have to keep in mind how tough Tracy Austin can be.
Love 50.
What are the type of things you tell yourself on a changeover to get yourself going? What did you say to yourself?
I'd have my flight schedule right there with me, booking the flight. I think Tracy's just got to, calm down a little bit, get more involved in this match. Al, you say she's sluggish, and she seems sluggish, but I think it's almost that she's over-eager, and she's just, she's just not in touch with her feelings at this moment.
15 all. 15 all.
Meanwhile, Chris continues to spray them all over the court.
Terribly mishit shot by Tracy. So unusual to see Tracy Austin out of position, trying to grapple with a good shot.
Second serve for Chris, unusual compared to her serving performance so far. And too low in the second set.
You know, this court does seem to be playing very low, almost dead. There are a couple of dead spots in the court. That certainly cannot be helping Tracy Austin's case. She's had a sciatica problem, a lower back problem, on and off for 2 years now. And it makes bending down lower that much harder if she's forced to just be bending all the time. It seems to me like she is standing a little bit straight.
Another thing about that type of a problem, it changes what are normally your normal movements. It forces you to change your rhythm or the way you go after a ball or the way you may take a shot.
But that being said, Tracy claims she's in fine form. Get by Tracy Austin, but still, Chris had plenty of court to hit into. Just an awesome display of tennis by Chris Evert Lloyd, jumping on every ball there, all the time. And so rare to see Tracy Austin on her heels. Love 15. And Tracy is acknowledging it to the fans. That was really one of the best points she's played all night. We're going to have another look at it. Nice performance here by Tracy. This was a very tough get. She got some angle off of it. Chris was there, really pounded this ball, but left herself open for a Tracy Austin winner. Really one of the more positive moments Tracy has had tonight. Score is 15-all. Bit of a rallying cry now from the fans.
Those are the late arrivers who walked in and saw it. 2-love, 6-love.
Is that the Sennheiser or the buyer? That's the Sennheiser.
Put together point by Chris. First point we saw lobs in. That was twice in that last point. Chris is sending Tracy off court, off balance. 30-all. questionable strategy at this point of the match to try to use some touch. A break point for Chris.
It is Chris Evert Lloyd, 3-love in the second set. The first set was hers as well, 6-love. Back at the Meadowlands on USA, Tracy Austin, who maintains one of the most neatly folded towels in all of sports, taking time to think about what she might be able to do to turn this around. And the mind may be willing, but perhaps the body is not. We've spoken about her back problems, but she's still smiling.
Looking over at her coach, Marty Reeson, and her mom is here as well this week. 3-love, second set. First set to Chris at love. Part of that last point again. Tracy just getting to the ball, and that's what gave her this dumpy kind of shot that gave Chris so much trouble. A little bit of luck there for Tracy. 15 all. Sprayed. Seems like Tracy's connecting a little bit late, and the reason for that may be the weight of Chris Evert Lloyd's shots. She's been practicing with her coach Dennis Ralston all week. As a matter of fact, she said because she didn't have to play until last night, she's been practicing twice a day, and she was just so happy to go out there and finally get a match. But when you're playing against a man all week long, as Chris has, your shots just are coming in harder and harder because Dennis Ralston hits so hard. Chris said she actually had to start playing with a couple of the women. I saw her hitting with Barbara Potter because Dennis's shots are so much harder, so pure and so firm that she was actually swinging very early on her backhands because they were just buzzing off her racket. She had to get used to the strokes of women again. This last point gave Tracy her first break point of the match. We'll see it again. Nicely played point there. She misjudged us a bit, but made up for it beautifully, pounded it into the court. She's got a break point.
Everyone in the arena, including Tracy, thought Chris was going to go up the line. First deuce of the evening right here. At 3-love in the second set. Here's a trivia question for you, Mary. What is the largest number of deuces ever gone to on a USA Network telecast?
I'm stumped. How many?
8. I don't think that will happen tonight. Remarkable how Chris was able to turn around from a defensive to an offensive standpoint in one shot. And she now leads 4-love.
This was a fine lob Chris put up. Tracy got up nice and high. This is a great arena for lobbing. A desperate stab there. Chris parks it cross court for a winner. 4-love second set. Tracy has not yet won a game. Same from Chris Evert Lloyd's racket. Tracy was a very impressive winner over Andrea Jaeger last night. It was a straight set victory, and yet in the press conference Jaeger said that she didn't think Tracy was playing as well this year as she had last year. Andrea also felt that in this match between Lloyd and Alston, it was Chris that had everything to lose because she had the pressure on her.
You can see Mary Carrillo's car parked in the corner of your screen there.
VIP parking only.
It's a clinic.
That's very, very true, Al. I don't know if you should use gorgeous when you describe tennis, but Chris is playing gorgeous tennis.
On the other side.
30-all.
Sure.
Great point, Chris Evert Lloyd, the familiar position for Tracy Austin. matchup. We've been speaking about Tracy Austin's back problem. Earlier this week, we talked to Tracy Austin and asked her about the sciatica condition, which has been troubling her, and how she deals with it.
My injury is something that can happen to anybody, and I know how to treat it now. I just stretch and do back exercises every day, so there's no problem with it anymore. And I've just got to put all that behind me and just go on and start with a brand new year and not worry about it. But like I said, it is tough to come back 2 years in a row like that. So I'm just going to have to be really strong and fight real hard to come back.
That's exactly what she'll have to do if she has any hopes of coming back in this one. This one, however, I fear, is long out of reach for Tracy Austin. We have played but 55 minutes, and Evert Lloyd is one game away from taking the second set and the match and moving into the final. And we will have Martina Navratilova and Hanna Mandlikova battling right after this one. I think it's safe to say that the grand majority of the people here are longing for a Navratilova-Evert Lloyd final, with those two having split the Grand Slam events this year. And applause of admiration for Evert Lloyd. She's been brilliant. And whether she knows Tracy Austin is hurting or not, this is not the holiday season on the tennis court. There will be no gifts. Continues to do it. 30-15, 2 points from the match. Chris's great play and Tracy Austin's 22 unforced errors have led to a quick match. As you watch Tracy, you can see that she is not bending hardly at all, if at all. Brilliantly placed, and match point is next. A condition like Tracy's, just one morning you wake up and you can't move. Double match point. In 50 minutes, Evert Lloyd defeats Tracy Austin 6-love, 6-love. A fine, slick performance by tennis's #2, Evert Lloyd. And so the head-to-head is now 9-8. Austin still holds the advantage, but there will be many more to come. Evert Lloyd moves into the final. We're back in East Rutherford, New Jersey on USA. The final, as you see it, a devastating performance by Chris Evert Lloyd. 6-love over Tracy Austin. And Chris does indeed move into the finals, as everyone here had hoped, and will face Martina Navratilova. Now, Martina will be taking on Hana Mandlikova in just a few minutes, and we will be talking about Hana and Martina's game in just a few minutes. Now, as you know, coming into this, the top women players from all over the world did compete in 11 countries, over 30 tournaments. It started back in April. It wound up in Richmond, Virginia just last week. The top 12 players on the Toyota point list came here to East Rutherford, all of them really with a fabulous amount of talent, and all could hope to win this tournament on any given night. The top 4 players were skipped over in the first round. They were moved into the second round, so actually it was 8 players who began play, and we started off with 4 tonight. We now have 3. Chris Evert Lloyd, whether Tracy Austin's back was bothering her or whether she just got off on the wrong foot here, it remains to be seen. But Chris Evert Lloyd certainly fabulously dazzling. 6-love, and we'll find out about Tracy Austin's condition right.
Tracy Austin is hiding behind me right now. She's been ducking behind me, but I just want to ask you a couple of questions here, Tracy. First of all, a lot of us may be wondering if you're at all injured and if that was any factor at all in the match.
No, not really. I just think that in order to play Chrissy, you have to be really in good shape and really strong. And I think that I'm in good enough shape to play everybody else because nobody keeps the ball in as long as she does. But, you know, I feel like I play my best against her when my legs feel real strong and I feel like I'm moving well. But she was devastating tonight. She played real well.
Was there anything that you were trying to do, trying to employ that you just weren't able to? Was she just stopping you every step of the way?
Yeah, well, you know, the times that I've beaten her, I played her last year here, and it's when I'm in really good shape, like I said, and that's, we have a similar game, and when I'm in good shape, then I can get to her balls, and, you know, I can hit them back real hard, too. So basically what it boils down to is how well I can run, and I was hitting okay, but I wasn't getting to the balls well.
What about 1983, Tracy? Are you going to be playing a heavy schedule? You must be very nervous about how much you're going to play.
No, I'm not. I mean, as far as the injuries are concerned, I'm not worried about injuries, you know, again. Right now, my main thing is just to work hard and to try and get in better physical shape because I think that's when I play my best.
You said an interesting thing the other night in a press conference. You said that you did want to work on your serve and volley game, and you may even enter in 1983 a few tournaments and only play doubles.
Yeah.
Is that that's a
yeah, I think
idea?
doubles, I haven't been able to play as, you know, much doubles because we always finish at like 1 or 2 in the morning and then I'm tired the next day. So maybe sometimes I'll just go and play doubles because it really does help your game.
Okay, Tracy, thanks a lot for being with us. Good luck in 1983.
Thanks.
Back to you, Al.
Okay, Mary, certainly it was not the back as we were conjecturing throughout the match. It was just simply a devastating Chris Evert Lloyd, 6-love. Over 20 unforced errors for Tracy Austin and some very tough times on the first serve. Now, as Mary gets settled down at courtside for a discussion with Chris Evert Lloyd, we look forward to the nightcap in the semifinal. The winner, Chris Evert Lloyd with Mary Carrillo. Mary?
Chris, I have seen Tracy Austin lose before, but I've never seen anyone prune her the way you were able to. It was devastating, and I'd really like an explanation for why it was like that.
Well, I think because right before the match I talked to my dad on the phone, and he knows my game better than anybody's, and he told me, you know, you're playing well, and just go out there and be confident, and if you play the way you've been playing, you know, you'll win. And sure enough, I did, and that really inspired me to talk to him before the match.
You have been practicing so much this week. It's a short week, really, in terms of regular tennis. You said you've been having a couple of practice sessions every day. You just look so crisp out there, you know, just so clean on every one. Was it just practicing all the time like that with Dennis Ralston that really got you going?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the last 6 months. I've played well, and I've played a lot of tournaments, and I think after winning the Australian Open, my confidence was back, and I wish I could have been playing this way the first half of the year because, you know, I really would have won a few more tournaments, but, you know, I'm relaxed, you know, and I feel like I've worked a lot on my movement around the court, and for once I was moving faster than Tracy, and yeah, I'm just delighted with the way I played.
It's true. It's so rare to see Tracy just diving for shots all over the place. When you went into 1982, did you go in with just a different attitude about number one? It seems like the second half of the year you've just been aiming towards there. In the first half, were you more relaxed about it?
Probably too relaxed. You know, I don't think I had that burning desire, and I didn't play the first 3 months, and by that time Martina had dominated the first 3 months of the year, and I went into it, you know, really not very confident, and I lost a few matches. I lost to Andrea, I lost to Martina. I think after that loss to Martina at Wimbledon, I worked a lot harder on my game, and I thought to myself, you know, you got to strive to be number one, and I've worked hard, and if I'm not number one this year, I'm going to try to be number one next year.
Are you going to be watching this next match with Martina and Malnikova?
I will probably watch it on TV, yeah.
Oh, good. You'll be watching me? Oh,
well, no, I'll turn down the sound.
Is it something, is it very important to you to play Martina tomorrow in your quest for number one?
Yeah, it is, because I think that, you know, if I have any chance at all, I would have to beat her in this tournament. And if I don't play her, or if I don't beat her, then I have no chance at all. So this is my only chance.
Okay, Chris, thanks a lot for being with us. Unbelievable match by you.
Thank you, Mary, very much.
Back to you, Al.
Okay, Mary, there you have it. Very simple. Just pick up the phone and call home, reach out and touch someone, and 6-love, 6-love. Chris Evert Lloyd over Tracy Austin. We'll continue on USA for the next semifinal. Navratilova, Mandlikova, right after this.